Welcome to the second of 6 videos looking at how to launch a traditional project management project. And what we're going to do during this particular video is look at the kickoff meeting, the roles of the sponsor and the project manager in that kickoff meeting, and then kind of move into a project definition statement, what it is, why it's used, and then finally look at 4 of the 6 characteristics of operating rules that you're going to have to establish for the team. So let's jump right into it. The first topic on the agenda is really this idea of a kickoff meeting. So the kickoff meeting is really the first formal announcement to the organization that the project has been approved. And as you recall, during the scoping phase, you came up with a project overview statement, but that was internal and that only went to executives for moving forward. And then during the second phase, planning, same thing, you're going through, you built a project proposal with all the scheduling and time and cost and other resource components of it. But again, that's just to the executives. This kickoff meeting is really the first formal indication to the rest of the organization that the project's been approved and that it's going forward. And so the sponsor is going to come up, be introduced to the project team, talk about the importance of the project from a sponsor perspective, and then introduce the client and the project manager. Project manager then kicks in and talks about, has the project team members introduce themselves to each other, and then they start about the work of writing a project definition statement. And this project definition statement is taking that project overview statement and through the lens of the team, because this is really the first time you've got the entire team there looking at the project and refining it. The other thing you're going to do during this kind of kickoff meeting is work through some team operating rules, and during this video I'll cover 4 of the 6 that are covered here, and then you'll go back and revise the project plan, project schedule, and then the work packages. All right, let's look a little bit more at this idea of a project definition statement, this expanded, if you will, project overview statement from the perspective of the team. So during this, you're going to expand it. You're going to add some additional components to it. And really, it's just to make sure that everybody, since this is the first time you've got all team members there, that all the new team members have an orientation to the project. Everybody is starting from exactly the same place in terms of moving forward and working together. Again, it's a pretty short document, but again, you want to make sure at the beginning everybody's on the same sheet of music and you're moving forward with everybody on the same sheet of music. All right, now we're going to go in and look at some of the team operating rules that we're going to establish here. This idea of problem solving, decision making, conflict resolution, consensus building. Those 4 we're going to talk about during this particular video. In the next video, we'll get into brainstorming and team meetings. So when you get to problem solving, there are typically 5 steps that are associated with solving the problem. You need to define what the problem or issue is, who the owner of that is, gather facts and data, and then underline what are the underlying causes that are causing that issue or problem. From there, you generate potential solutions. Those potential solutions are evaluated and analyzed. You prioritize which approaches are going to be most feasible and most effective, and then you develop an action plan and get that approved by the decision maker. All right. So as you're going through that, you've got to make some decisions. And in doing so, there are kind of 3 broad mechanisms for that decision making. And in doing this, it looks like the slide is slightly out of focus, but that's okay. We'll work with it. This idea of directive, participative, and consultative. So in directive leadership, what's going on is one person is making the decision, everyone's executing the decision, there's not a lot of input. If your child is about to walk into the street, that conversation is directive, okay? You don't need input to stop the child from walking into the street and articulating your displeasure with your child's attempt to walk into the street. Participative is going to be the exact opposite. That's where you're all going to get together, you're all going to talk about it and come to consensus and then move forward. And then consultative is going to be in between, and that's where you're still going to have one decision maker, but that one decision maker is going to take in input from everybody, listen to that, then make a decision on how they're going to actually go forward. And depending on the circumstance, it's not like there's one right answer or one wrong answer. Directive would definitely be wrong. if you're working through something that you need to build consensus on, but directive is exactly right if your child's about to walk into the street or put their hand on the stove. So there's no one right or wrong answer. It depends on the circumstance, and leaders should be well vested and well experienced in all three approaches. Conflict resolution, got to keep in mind that there are some people that conflict is considered good and others where conflict is considered bad. It just depends on how they're used to solving problems. So people that are working from, say, a political frame, they see conflict as inevitable and you just need to build it in, whereas those who work from a structural frame or sometimes even from an HR frame believe that it can be engineered out of a particular situation or scenario. There are kind of three groups of folks out there, and again, you got to be careful with this in terms of oversimplifying. But you get some people that are going to be try to avoid conflict at any phase. You've got others that are going to be combative, and that causes some challenges as well on the opposite side. And then you have this idea of collaboratively working together to solve that particular problem. So again, just be aware of this as you're setting up your team rules. You want to talk about, what type of leadership style you're going to have, how you're going to handle conflict resolution, how you're going to solve problems together, what's the expectation in terms of all team members. And then from there, what we're going to do is go ahead and finish up this particular video. Next video, we've got two more of these kind of team rules that we're going to have to establish, and we'll kind of get into this idea of brainstorming and how we're going to do our team meetings. All right, well, very, very good. During this video, the second of 6 videos, we've looked at group dynamics, we looked at the kickoff meeting and a project definition statement and the role of that project definition statement in the project. Keep on studying, keep on learning, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.